Jay Coleman, and welcome to the Viking Sports Corner. We've all heard the voice over the radio and on our live stream, but few of us know the story behind the voice. Melinda Houghton was able to catch up with Ken Kujawa, the voice of the Missouri Valley Vikings.
Ken Kiava has more than 30 years of experience when it comes to radio broadcasting. It is in these 30 years that Ken, better known to his students as Q, has become known as the voice of the Missouri Valley Vikings. During his time in commercial radio, Q has been twice named the Missouri Sportscaster of the Year. I was able to catch up with the man behind the voice to get his story of why he became a sportscaster.
Do it all my life, even when I was a little kid. I'd see those guys on television. I thought, I want to do that. And I'd go out in the backyard and throw a ball up against the wall of the garage, and not because I was the star athlete, but I'd call the game. I think we all did that as kids, but I just kind of kept it as a passion, and that's really all I've ever wanted. I started, believe it or not, in 1978, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's 30-plus years, most of it college, basketball and football, but I've done high school and other sports as well. But since I just got to college, I was about 20 years old when I started.
Ken Kiava plans on continuing his successful career with the Missouri Valley Vikings. For more information on Ken Kiava, you can go to moval.edu. This has been Melinda Houghton with the Sports Corner.
Missouri Valley sports teams are always rooted for. However, the athletic training staff may go a little unnoticed of their work that goes into the team. Here's the men's volleyball trainer to talk about his game day.
I became an athletic trainer because I always enjoyed playing sports. When I got to high school, I realized I really wasn't very good, and I signed up to play sports. And I just always enjoyed being around teams. My high school PE teacher introduced me to the profession of athletic training a little bit, and then I went to an undergraduate program and specialized in athletic training from that point on. Before a game, you'll know what your athletes will need. Most people are going to need taping or stretching or heating somehow. Lots of that is going to depend on which sport they have. For example, football does lots more taping and bracing than other sports. The other thing you're going to do is get the sideline set up. So usually that means water and ice and Gatorade for games. You also have to be prepared to do your emergency action plan. So that means that you have your splints available, AED, that you're CPR trained, that you know who to call if someone does get injured and they need to go directly to the hospital. You have all that pre-planned ahead of time.
The trainers are at every practice and arrive early before every game. The next time you're at a Viking game, remember to notice the staff behind the bench as well. The volleyball team has 2 new head coaches. Melissa Bublitz has more.
The Missouri Valley men's volleyball team got some new changes as Brett Holt and Lindsey Tork became head coaches due to Derek White leaving as head coach. Holt has been coaching for over 10 years and is ready to make big things happen with the team.
We just want to build on our recruiting. In the women's season, we were just above 500, so we look to improve on that and get further up in the conference standings, and then hopefully make a splash in the national scene.
Tork, a 4-year member of the MVC volleyball team, has just started her 2nd year coaching and is enthusiastic.
I love how fast-paced the game is, how you have to work so hard to be a good teammate and stay active, and I just love volleyball. I just love the whole game.
The men's team is 5-1 with the next scheduled game on the 31st in Marshall versus Hannibal LaGrange University.
The MVC rodeo team continues to stay on top. Continuing on the success from last year, Scott Charbonneau has more.
The Missouri Valley College Rodeo team is gearing up for their second half of college rodeos. I interviewed Kristen Cox to learn a little more about the rodeo team's season.
It's pretty tough being a student and being on the rodeo team just because we miss a lot of Thursdays and Fridays because we're gone for rodeos, and Mondays when we get back it's catch-up time, so teachers really work with us great, but sometimes stuff just can't get done. We have really good skill level from senior to the new coming freshmen. Goat tying would probably be our strongest event in the girls division because it seems like every rodeo we've had at least half the girls back in the short go, which is the top 10 of everyone. We're in 4th coming into our 2nd semester of rodeos, and we have 5 more to go. Our next rodeo is the end of February, and it's in Texarkana.
The MVC rodeo team has 5 rodeos in the spring. Their first one will be on February 23rd in Texarkana, Arkansas.
This past month has been full of action here for Missouri Valley athletes, from basketball to volleyball. The Vikings have been competing with conference and non-conference teams. Here's Jessica Gates with some highlights from the past games.
Missouri Valley men and women's basketball team both pulled a conference win over Central Methodist on January 12th. Senior Sammy Jackson led the way for the Lady Vikes. She scored a total of 19 points with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. With 1.9 seconds left in the game, Ebony Browns clutched the game with the game-winning free throw. Lady Vikings took the game with a 62-61 victory. For the men's, Mike Connor led the team with 12 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. In the first half, the Eagles stayed close with our fellow Vikings. With the second half underway, the men took a lead and finishing off the game winning 55-41. On January 23rd, the women's basketball team got another conference victory over the 3-7 Graceland Yellow Jackets. Senior Hannah Young led the way for the Vikings, scoring a total of 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. She helped lead the team to a 74-46 victory. The ladies Vikings are now sitting 6th in the conference rankings. For the men's, junior Kevin Standard led the team with 15 points, a total of 4 rebounds, and only 1 assist. This was Standard's first game back from being injured in the beginning of the year. The men trailed most of the game, and they made a miraculous comeback in the second half to tie the game at 69. In overtime, the men had a disappointing loss when the Yellow Jackets scored with only a little over a second to go. The men are now sitting 7th in the conference. The men's volleyball team had their home game opener on Wednesday the 25th. Being the underdogs, the men played a long, hard match going to 5 games with top-ranked Graceland University. The men did come out with a loss, with losing only by 2 points in the 5th set, but came out with the confidence they needed to get ready for this year's quest to make it to nationals.
And that's been this episode of the Viking Sports Corner. I'm Jake Coleman. Thanks for watching.